And good morning, everybody. This is Peggy Berryhill, Lynne Atkins, and her four-legged friend who she just removed from the microphone or the computer. And of course, Leanne Lindsay in the background. Thank you, Leanne. It's a busy Friday. I was already on another conference call that is still going on. I had to jump off of, and I will just say we're looking at trying to bring you better services here through the station and for KGUA. So looking at that aspect, but I leave that to Susan and our engineer Brian Henry to work with. So this morning we're going to be talking, as I said, with Lynne Atkins in just a moment, and talking about good trouble, right?
We're going to trouble. Yes, we're going to create some.
So just a couple of quick reminders. Coast Highway Art Collective 9th anniversary. Go up to Point Arena. You need something to do. You can get out of the house, wear your mask, enjoy the beauty of local artwork. Brought to you by Coast Highway Art Collective in Point Arena. And we've been reminding you each day here that we got messages from our two veterinary clinics that we go to, one in Occidental and the other Pet Care, which is more of an emergency. Lynne, are you drinking first thing in the morning?
I am. I'm drinking LaCroix Mango. That's an unpaid commercial announcement.
I'm just teasing her. She lifts this can up, an aluminum can. All right. Anyway, quick reminder. There is an outbreak of canine respiratory disease in our areas. And so what our vets and Pet Care, everyone is asking, please avoid dog parks if you can, and avoid letting your dogs touch noses together so that they're not spreading this, because this can lead to pneumonia, and of course pneumonia can lead to death. We don't want to lose any more of our animals right now. So they're saying be cautious. They said until about, it looks like around the 20th, 21st of the month. And I'll see if we can get an update and see if it's slowed down by then. But they're saying be cautious with your pets right now. And supposedly we're getting into a, quote, heat wave this weekend. I don't know how hot it's going to get here, but a little bit warmer than it's been, which we appreciate, but we do appreciate the spring weather. Okay, let us talk about the Democrats of Mendocino County who are talking about leadership development training by Zoom. Lynne Atkins is with us. And Lynne, you have, who has worked, of course, with the Indivisibles and the Redwood Coast Democrats. And Lynne, you are now, have a new title working with the Democrats here in Northern California and Mendocino County, don't you?
I do. For the past 2 years, I have been chair of the Mendocino County Democratic Central Committee and on the executive board for the California Democratic State Party. So I might be the Peter principle at work, rising to the height of my incompetence. And I'm still very active on the leadership team with the Redwood Coast Democrats, who is hosting what we are fondly calling the Triumvirate Town Hall on April 24th. We will be having at 11 o'clock, from 11 to 12:30, we'll be having our Congressman Jared Huffman, our state senator Mike McGuire, and our assembly member Jim Wood, all of our representatives from District 2, which will be embedded also as part of the Good Trouble workshop that the Mendocino County Central Committee is putting on. So this will be a county-wide event. And of course, as you know, the Redwood Coast Democrats are a bi-county club. So we are even including our northern neighbors in Sonoma County. So this is a major event for our local Democrats. And I thank you for having me on to talk about it.
You bet. And we're showing right now for our YouTube viewers your pamphlet. And by the way, Lynne, we are on YouTube live now, and which we do with almost all of our Peggy's Place interviews. And so not only can you hear us on the radio or on the internet, you can watch us on YouTube. and Leanne is arranging some of the posters in the background here. And right over Lynne's face right now, we have the
Well,
poster that says, wait, you read this, Lynne. Good trouble, hear us roar. Join all Democrats of Mendocino County for Good Trouble training Saturday, April 24th from 10 to 2. Now, Lynne, for just a little bit of background who don't know what Good Trouble means, where did that come from?
John Lewis, bless
John
his
Lewis.
heart. He wanted Democrats to make good trouble. And that was what he spent his life doing. So it's a good mantra to have. So you'll see
Absolutely.
April 24th. Leanne, thank you for putting these screen sharing devices up. Actually, I wanted to share with you, Leanne warned me not to wear my pajamas to this interview because we are now on YouTube, but I might want to dress a little bit more appropriately. So you see our virtual town hall, which is kind of a big deal to get all three of these gentlemen together so that we can hear them speak and hear what good trouble they're causing on our behalf, and also be able to ask them questions. So this is part of, well, this is a standalone event, it can be, and it's also part of the Good Trouble Hear Us Roar workshop. So during the middle of the workshop, there will be a link for the attendees to be able to go to the virtual town hall. And if you're not able to attend the full workshop, there is a link on the Redwood Coast Democrats website, first of all, and to tell you how to pre-submit questions, and secondly, a link to the town hall. And all you need to do is go to Redwood Coast Democrats, let me say that again, redwoodcoastdemocrats.org in order to log on.
One long word.
Yes, one long word.
And you can see the little stars and stripes right underneath Assemblyman Jim Wood's picture, and that is the information for Redwood Coast Democrats. You know, I'm really happy to see this, particularly in this time. And I think we also want to let people know that Kenny Jowers will is he on this, or is he part of the consultation team?
No, he is on this. Kenny has taken a little break from working with the Democrats over the past months, but he is on this, and he will be our inspirational speaker. Anybody that knows Kenny knows that he can certainly roar with the good trouble and make us all want to follow him. So it'll be good to hear from him again.
You know, I would also like to say about Kenny, and that is absolutely true. He's a great speaker, dynamic and fun person. He did grow up in the South.
Yes, he did.
And there's a whole history coming back to life right now that never left the South. And we're going to talk to Lynne about that in just a couple of minutes here. But I think that's so important. And I think what your Democratic leadership is reaching out and trying to do is vitally critical, because you are reaching out to many organizations and many speakers of color. And right now in America, we need to be able to talk together and on a really honest and where possible face-to-face discussions and conversations that involve democracy, because there are many of us who fear that democracy is absolutely under attack. There are many people who still feel left out of democracy.
Yes.
In many ways. And here it is, 2021. And so taking the good words of the wonderful John Lewis, who we sadly lost last year, I think it was last year,
Yes.
Good Trouble, and that that the Democratic leadership is moving ahead to rectify some of that, to not just pay lip service, but to do something about getting those voices involved in politics if the Democratic Party is going to survive and evolve.
To champion social justice and equal rights and voter voter protection, so that voting is our constitutional privilege and our right. So with the voting rights being under attack, with young Black men, unfortunately, seemingly under attack, there is so much we have to learn, so much we need to do to be able to reach out to each other. I will be attending the California Democratic Convention at the end of this month, and all of the caucuses meet. I am a member of the Black Caucus. I'm mostly a member to listen and to learn, not to speak and not to share, but I have so much to learn in order to be more than just an advocate, but to try to become a partner. I think so many of us that are privileged white people and would swear up and down that we're not prejudiced, that we're not bigoted. We need to listen a little bit more and find out where we need to grow. And the Democratic Party is supporting that.
I'm glad to hear that. Let me stop you there because there's two things that I want to make, 2 points following up on what you just said. Let's start with the second one first. Privilege doesn't mean that you have money and you have lots of things. No. That's not what privilege is. Privilege has to do with what a lot of people just take for granted is your access to things. That you walk into the door, even of a supermarket, let's say, and if you look like you need help, somebody may come over and help you first before they'd help someone else. I can tell you just from my own adult life, even as I am now, I could walk into a jewelry store in the mall and I would be ignored. But if Lynn walked in, they would go straight to Lynn and say, "How can I help you, ma'am?" Yes. That's part of what privilege means, is those kinds of access that are taken for granted. So no, it's not something that you have done. It is just the way society is systemically built.
Predisposed to treat people. You know, I've seen a meme a couple of times on Facebook that has really stuck with me. If the police pull me over on a road, my first thought is, what did I do? Oh boy, I'm going to get a ticket. Was I driving too fast? And I turn off my radio and try and look really attentive. And if I were a Black man or any man of color, my initial thought would probably be, am I going to die? So that's, I think, the kind of privilege that we're talking about, the way people are predisposed to treat us in certain situations.
Well, but let me add to that, driving while brown. Yes. You know, I've been stopped. I know other women of color who have been stopped. We're not have the exact same fear of being shot, but we don't know. There are other types of abuse. But, you know, I got stopped right here in downtown Walla a few years ago, driving while brown. I have a brand new car. I keep wanting to go back to another point that you made earlier. And, you know, the whole things that we're talking about, racial justice or racial injustice, as is being recognized now within this, because of police killings. There's so many other types of racial injustice, and certainly the, you know, police killings must be recognized. And as we're watching this trial that has been happening, we'll see how that goes. At the same time, more people have been killed. But right here, and Lynn, I don't know if you saw this, the other day, right here in downtown Walla, we had a Trump truck. We call them Trump trucks, but with a pickup, 2 giant American flags and signs that said, F Biden and F your voting rights.
Uh.
Right here. Now, and I understand that truck is still around. I don't know if it's a local person or if it's just somebody trying to provoke people or scare people. What do the Democrat, has the Democratic Party or as individuals talked about these kinds of provocations and incidences? I mean, they're not happening somewhere else. They're happening right here. Huntington Beach on Sunday had a KKK rally. It's not new. Apparently, they've been doing this for decades. But their motto was, their flag, their banner, White Lives Matter. As a party, are there internal discussions about this behavior right in our own backyards and what to do about it?
Yes, actually, there have been, particularly during the assembly races. Since I've been on the executive board for the party, I was privileged to sit in on weekly statuses on our various Democratic Assembly candidates that were running. And some of the Black Assembly candidates that were running in Southern California, in Orange County, and the threats that they were receiving, mostly because of their race, and secondly, because of being Democrat and viewed as very liberal. And how could the Democratic Party help to overcome that other than just throwing more money at it? And of course, there's a limited amount of money that, that we had to throw. But how could we get up on Facebook and support these people? But particularly, how do we reach the people within the district during a time of COVID to support these folks that are undergoing such heinous attacks? And yes, the truck that you saw, I did not see that. I have been spending an awful lot of time in my home office doing stuff here, especially since the time of COVID. I don't get out much anymore.
Right.
But I do remember a couple 4th of July parades ago. There was a whole stream of trucks with Trump flags, banners that took most of us. I was marching with Indivisible, right next to, right part of the Democratic Party, although Indivisible is an independent activist organization. We're pretty Democrat. And we were just so surprised to see the number of these trucks that were coming along behind us. We pretty much see that ourselves here as living in a bubble. And that's exactly what we're living in. And so when somebody slips into our bubble that doesn't necessarily think along the majority of the lines that we think, believe in the democratic ideals that we believe in, we're shocked. But then you think about people that live in other areas that are living in somebody else's bubble, that are the minority of the people that believe in QAnon. Marjorie Taylor Greene just made over $3 million over the past couple of months in small dollar fundraising from her district in Georgia. And we wonder, how can that happen? How are these people, what are they thinking? Are they thinking?
Well, again, I want to stop for a second, and I think those are excellent points that you're making. But I also want to make the point that right here in our own backyard, the American Nazi Party had its headquarters in Mendocino for a long, long time. And while you say, you talk about this bubble we live in, but the Pomos have not been living in a bubble. No. They're very aware of the racism. The Latinx community here in Point Arena and Gualala are very much aware of the racism that exists in this so-called bubble that we all live in. And so we also have to look right in our backyards. And then the people or person who was driving the truck may be a local person, and as you said, the people who drove in the 4th of July pickups. But what we're now seeing is a lot more of this feeling of it's okay, to come out and be
Yeah.
racist. And so this, getting back to this concept of the virtual town hall, I think and it's Mendocino County, we have to face the reality of the counties we live in. And Sonoma County, the Latinx community in Sonoma County, the Black community in Sonoma County, and the Native community and the Asian communities in Sonoma County can talk to you about the racism right here in our own backyard. So it's a good thing that we want to change the United States, but we really have to talk about what's going on here. And how do we change things?
Well, and one of the things that you said, it's unfortunately more acceptable to air bigotry and racism and hatred, mean and ugly thoughts about other people, whatever it's because of their sexual orientation, because of their race. And we can lay that pretty squarely at the feet of our previous president, not the systemic problem. That problem has been going on for hundreds of years, but the acceptability of people acting on their racial prejudices, their sexual orientation prejudices, you're not like me, religious prejudices, that was made okay to act on those ugly beliefs. Hope, and it's still going on, it's and how do you stem that? As I said, those of us that have the privilege of not having predisposed opinions, well, we do have predisposed opinions about us, but some of them that are grant us entry more readily than others, need to sit back and look and see, what can I do to share that with others? And I agree, yes, the Latinx community not only is feeling racial disparity from other members of the community, but there's now fear of immigration authorities. If they're here, quote unquote, illegally, I mean, there's real fear. And I think that's also causing problems with people being COVID vaccinated, that people are afraid to come out and put their name on a COVID vaccine passport and get the vaccine, because now their name is out there. Is somebody going to come and take them and send them back to El Salvador, back to Mexico or whatever? That kind of fear is, I think, very real. And because of people pushing that fear forward, we're putting ourselves, all of us, in a precarious position for people really being fearful to get vaccinated, that will take us to herd immunity and be good for all of us. So I don't know how to solve it, Peggy. I know that at the grassroots level, all we can do is make good trouble as we see it.
Well, and Lynn, I really appreciate your words, and I know that I can speak to you frankly like that, and that is very. I think it's important that we know that there are Democratic leaders that we can speak to openly and honestly. And if I sound like I'm feeling more urgent about this, I am. So let's once again remind people about this event, Good Trouble. And it's a virtual town hall, Saturday, April 26th. It starts at 11
24th.
a.m. 24th, I'm sorry.
That's
I
okay.
see that. 24th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And this whole roster of skills building workshops. And I don't want to run out of time here, but, looking at building coalitions, we're talking about that with other organizations, connecting with young activists and voters. And boy, we are seeing an upswelling of young activists in so many communities. Love to see that. Strategies to defeat, oh my goodness, the recall. That's a whole nother show.
Oh, it
We could do a
is.
whole topic on.
We could. I've got a lot of feelings about that one.
Well, we're going to have to save that because, we're going to run out of time. Using social media effectively. So who does the Democratic leadership want to be part of calling in or writing into this town hall?
Everyone. I mean, all are welcome. Democrats, of course, no party preference. And, it's an open town hall. The Democratic Party is open to all. If you're a Republican and want to come and listen and learn, discuss your points of view, please feel free to join us. For the workshop, we're looking at any and all Democratic activists. For the town hall, we are looking for everyone to please come and meet their representatives. If you are a Republican, these 3 Democrats still represent you. If you have questions for them, if you want to discuss something with them, this is your chance. So
you just made a differentiation, and I hadn't noticed that, between the development training and the virtual town hall. I thought they were the same.
They are 2 different things that one is embedded in the other. I don't know. Let me try to explain. What happened was that we were trying to get a date for our 3 representatives. They came back for the 24th. A couple of days earlier than that, the workshop put its date out and started advertising that they were going to be on the 24th. So what we did is we melded the 2 together, making lemonade, making it a full Mendocino County event, putting the town hall into the workshop so that people will leave the workshop and Zoom in with the new Zoom address to the town hall. So if you're a member that is taking part in the workshop, you will have the Zoom address to join the town hall, and the workshop will break for that hour and a half for the town hall. If you are not part of the workshop, you can have direct access to the town hall. So the town hall is a standalone as well as being embedded into the workshop. Is that making sense, Peggy?
Well, it is helping some more. So obviously you can divide yourself to your time as it is for that day, whichever one you can do. And I see
Well,
that
you
there
can do
is,
both, actually.
yeah, or you can do both if you
The
have
town
the
hall
time.
can be, you can be in the workshop. Yeah.
Now there's a registration email at the bottom of the Good Trouble. Is that only, so now I am confused. Is it to register for the Good Trouble training, or is it to register for the virtual town hall, or is it the same?
Well, you register at sksavage2 at comcast.net, and that is registering for the town hall. That is registering for the workshop. As you'll go through from 10 until 11 o'clock, and then there will be a new Zoom link provided to you that will take you to the town hall. And then when you come out of the town hall, there's a break, and at 12:45, the skill building workshops begin, and you'll be given another Zoom link to go into the workshops. If you're not part of the workshops, you can go directly to redwoodcoastdemocrats.org and submit your questions and get the link for the town hall.
Okay, we're out of time, Lynn. I'm sorry, But what we need to do, there you are, sorry, we're out of time. So we will, interview, you and I will talk offline here, and we can get that a little clearer. But I think right now, people could go to redwoodcoastdemocrats.org and get the information.
They can get the information for the town hall.
Okay, for the town hall. And this good trouble information will that also be at the Redwood Coast Democrats site?
There is a poster there that gives information on the Good Trouble workshop.
You know, there's never enough time to talk about getting into good trouble and good politics. Lynne Atkins, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
We are talking about a virtual town hall Saturday, April 24th at 11 a.m. On the same day, Saturday, April 24th, there are also leadership development training workshops. So this repeats at 1 o'clock, Lynn, and it will also be on our YouTube live channel, so people can watch it and get the information more. And you and I and your
Excellent.
Democratic leadership have some much stronger conversations to have as our time goes on.
I'd love to talk with you, Peggy.
Thank you so
you.
much. Take care.
Okay.
And thank you, Leanne. We're